So that's something that we kind of just that we've been doing for the last, I'd say for myself as a play caller and running the offense, that's kind of what I really got to is just the biggest difference of anything I've done in my, 18 years or so of calling offense came up with is gotten to the point of these accelerators for the quarterback. And just
Right.
where they kind of anticipate, they know who they're throwing to unless it's taken away. And most of the time, if we're calling a concept, we're calling it because we think it's going to be there. So,
Right.
I want him to throw where I think, but that's another thing that I do is there's a constant communication from the sideline with the quarterback because I always hear, I can remember in the past being on like the sideline and maybe we call a certain play and I'd be beside another coach and be like, man, if he sees this route, if
We're good.
we'll be like, Timmy's going to be wide open. If he sees it, we're going to have a touchdown. Come on, throw it to Timmy. That's kind of shitty coaching. Wouldn't it be better to be like, hey, quarterback, throw the ball to Timmy right now? We're going to get a touchdown. So what I typically do as a play caller is I've got a constant back and forth with my quarterback. We're communicating for the most part non-verbally. But I'll tell the quarterback will do it. I can pull up say any game from last year. We had a sophomore quarterback, a young kid. About 25 times a game, you'll see him look over at me and tap the side of his head with his finger, saying, "What are you thinking?" And I might just give him a signal to go through the progression. I might tell him, "I'm thinking the Y is going to be open." And so that means I want you to go through the progression, but I'm expecting the Y to be open. Or I could tell him, throw the Y right now. Forget progression. Or, that most common would happen like if we were running maybe, let's say we're running 4 verts and we got a backer that's a total mismatch against, like, say, the H receiver or something. Or there's no safety help and there's a huge mismatch between the outside receiver and the corner and they're pressing. And I'm like, okay, I know we can hit this now. So I'll just tell him now. I tell you now, you throw it and it's a pick all on me.
Right.
But,
Right.
There's that just constant, or my quarterback can look over at me and he can like kind of cut his throat saying, hey.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and in the past, what I do if he did that is I would say like, okay, well, what's another good play? And I would send him a play real quick. But what I've found over time is if he gives me this, he already sees something that he wants. And so
right.
Before where, he'd do this and then I give him like, oh, okay, open 6. So for verts. Now I just point back at him